Hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome to.
Episode number 82.
Yes,
I had to read this one.
did you?
Yeah.
And it's 2022. It's a new year.
And Happy New Year to everyone. So
That's
welcome to this new 2022 series, if you like.
Yep.
Same format. We have our usual truck at the front here. Oh, it's not a truck.
Usual truck,
Usual
usual vehicle.
vehicle. That's
Yes.
it.
So
So
we've got truck of the week today.
we got the truck of the week.
Yep.
Absolutely. So a bit wet today out there. So you can see a few people online. I guess some must be still on holiday out there. Maybe back
Oh,
at
you'd
work.
think
So
so.
that doesn't know if you're
Yeah.
working, if you're on holiday still. We're obviously working. So we
Are
haven't
we?
had much of a break.
No,
Just
we've
had a
been
couple-
non-stop actually.
Exactly. But
Yeah, we had a few days off.
a few days off. So I had a chance of playing with this. See? So we're going to have a look at these a bit later on.
Actually, it looks clean on the screen.
Yeah.
If we look at it closely here, it's
Brett, I'm
been
sure
well
that
used.
Brett would not be impressed with the condition of this car today. He dropped it off to me last week and was like, I put sunglasses to look at it.
Was it that?
Oh,
So you fully detailed it,
absolutely.
and
Polished,
now it's not.
scratched. I broke a tree and I broke.
Did you say a tree?
So that car had a couple of stops against the tree. So very solid. Anyway,
Right.
we're going to have a look at that in a minute.
Okay, sure.
As always, guys, we have the car of the week, which today is a truck.
So what do we need? So we need to know the brand of the truck,
Yeah.
the model of the truck,
And
and
if you can,
the coloring. So
the
the
car, which is like a transport company.
that's right, the branding of the truck. Yeah.
So something different. So we actually have lots of drag trucks in stock at the moment. So it's been a very long period of time without much, and now all of a sudden we have quite a few, which is quite nice, really. So they was very popular when they are available.
Well, they do a good job.
Absolutely,
Hmm.
quite impressive. And the cabin opens like
Yeah.
this, so it's quite nice and very well detailed. So we're gonna have a good look at this one later on.
Hmm.
So jump in the comments. Feel free to comment and let us know what truck it is. Any questions, as always, feel free to ask questions.
Yep.
What are we gonna talk about today? We've got lots of train stuff today. We were
Train stuff, because it's really interesting train
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
We also got that accessory, the
Yeah.
Murky Water.
Murky Water.
Yep.
Then we're gonna talk about the X-Max.
And we've
And
got some kits.
some model kits.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Right. So should we start with the Murky Water?
Before we
got a
start-
lot of,
before we start, I was
Yeah.
going to say that probably lots of you have noticed we changed the color of our little logo on Facebook and social media.
oh, that's right. Yes.
And it is because this year is our 75th anniversary. So
Big year.
Hearns obviously started in 1947
Mhm.
in Melbourne.
Mhm.
Not quite in this store, but just probably 300 meters down the road.
Yeah,
here
just
in
a walk
Williamstown.
down there.
And this year is a big year, so 75 years in business. And so we'll be celebrating throughout the year, isn't it?
That's right. So we're going to be doing all sorts of different things just to make it a special year. Look out for special products,
That's right.
and we'll be doing different events as well, just to keep it all exciting. Because it's not often that a store will celebrate 75 years,
Absolutely.
so it is very special to us, and hopefully to you too.
So we will have some limited edition release products. So keep an eye on that. So if you join the newsletter, I believe most likely the subscriber will get the first information. So jump on the newsletter on the website, sign up on the newsletter, so we get some really cool releases. One should be out by the end of this month.
Yes.
And if you are an RC enthusiast, that will be a must-have.
yes,
I
be
think.
very, very exclusive.
Absolutely. So keep an eye on that. So in the meantime, we'll see comments here. I wonder if anyone can write a comment in case there is a problem or so. I don't see much happening, but I can see quite a few of you online. So where do we start from? Should we start from this one?
Well, I was thinking Murky Water because it's pretty murky outside. We've got a bit of a storm coming through.
Thank you. Thank you for writing. So good. All working.
Excellent.
Cool. Very good. All right. Oh, quite a few people jump out of the line. Very good. Welcome. So Murky Water. So this is part of the Woodland Scenics range. And Woodland Scenic is a company manufacturing all the scenery products specifically for modern railway, but you can use this for any kind of diorama.
Yeah,
type
that's right. So
project.
it's 35 scale, anything really. And they come up with some really nice sets to make it easier for you to achieve certain effects. So this particular one being murky, and it's also deep pour. The idea is it's already been pre-tinted for you, and it's a resin type. So there's a hardener that gets mixed in with it as well. And the great thing in the box is it includes all the things, even the safety things you need. So it's got mixing cups, it's got gloves, it's got the little stirrers.
Yep.
So you don't need to worry about anything else. It's all in there. Mix it up, pour it, and it's ready to use.
And we saw last week some of the Scale 75 sets where they give you all the instructions on how to create some effects. And this is very much the same. Often enough, if you're new to this, you don't know what you're going to need, tools, equipment, and you start your project, and halfway through you realize, oh, I need a cup, or I need a stirrer, or I should use gloves.
Yes.
And this site is perfectly designed to get you started with that.
Yeah,
so,
it just makes it all so easy. The other good thing about Murky Water is, if you've seen the Yarra River,
that's it.
It looks like this. It's murky. So it's perfect for us.
So what you're going to get in here is 2 cups.
Yep. So they're pretty decent size.
Decent size. And this is one of these things where you probably have some at home, but when you need them, they're never there, really.
Yeah, that's right.
You get some bags and gloves. These, I guess, to prevent making a mess everywhere.
Yep.
Got mixing sticks.
Yep.
It's a very, very useful.
Yep.
And then obviously the important bit.
So you've got your resins there.
So that's the activator, and this is actually the pre-color murky.
Yeah. So you see how it's got the brown tint in it already. So you just got to mix these parts. So there's 2 parts of A to 1 part of B of the hardener, and then you get your water. You pour it where you need it. Just make sure you got your dams up so you don't get it spilling everywhere.
Yeah.
And then once it sets up, you'll be able to take all the dams off, and it'll be all solid.
That's right. So, as BJ was saying before, you get some nice instructions. And I think it's going to be a here we go, step-by-step type process. So, this is it. They show you how to measure everything out, how you prepare it, and it's a nice little step-by-step guide here.
So it's good how those stickers you actually stick it onto the mixing cups there.
Yeah.
So that on the sides it's easy for you to see how much material you actually poured in there to measure it.
And then obviously you can tint it differently. So they sell all this product individually, so you can actually have the clear resin and just make it up as you need.
Yes.
And they've got a range of different colors.
Yep.
So really useful, and some couple of examples here. This is quite
nice,
actually particular, so you can get a bit closer.
Yeah. So you can see how thick you can do it. So that's why they call it deep pour, because the single stuff, which is not a 2-part epoxy, generally you can only do very thin pours, because if it's too thick, they tend to crack. But with an epoxy, since it doesn't shrink at all, when you pour it in, you can do it in thicker sections like that. And then it gives that great effect too, because it's semi-transparent. Anything that's very deep, you can even embed fish and stuff in there.
That's right.
You'll see them looking darker as they're deeper in the water.
Absolutely. So with you share a few of this really crazy project on Instagram and Facebook recently, or some artists out there do some crazy. There was a submarine recently that was fully submerged.
Yes,
that was special.
That's right. So it's using the same sort of thing. So they're using a lot more of it. Some of them they're using just clear panels on the sides to simulate the water underneath. But most of the really good ones use the actual pour method.
That's right.
Yep.
So
because the natural depth you get with the material going all the way up to the model is much more smooth in transition and looks more natural.
Distortion as well a little bit.
That's right.
Which makes it look very real.
So some of those things, it's just one of those things in dioramas, right? So dioramas are a challenge already.
Yeah.
But if you choose to do anything underwater, trying to get the water effect, and then also anything that's in snow, winter effects.
Yes.
They're the challenges.
That's right.
And this definitely makes it a lot easier.
And this is one of many sets. So I saw that before, and I thought we quite interesting. There's a couple of other examples here. It's quite nice to have, see how realistic. These almost look like a real photo.
Well, that's right. How good is it?
You got all your, and these are all products that you can buy from Woodland Scenic. So you got all the greens, all the different size rocks, even the sticks.
Yeah. That's a really good example of how it graduates. Yeah. Okay, so it's the same material that's been poured, but simply because it's thinner here, you don't get as much tinting. Okay, and you've got that natural graduation into a darker, murkier area there. So you've got a really good creek look. So if you're doing Australian type layouts or dioramas, just need to pour a little bit of that in there, and it gives a great effect.
So as we're talking about train and models, we also received a number of brand new buildings. And these again are specifically for trains, and this one really caught my eye.
So what do you got there? Have you got like tomato sauce and mustard?
Absolutely. So this is a little lifeguard building. Let's open this up.
It's one of those little huts, isn't it? They have on the beach.
And I thought it was quite cute. So let's get the top camera going. There we go.
I can probably zoom that in a bit more, I think.
This is very small.
Focused. Oh my god, going the wrong way. Going all
right, getting better.
right. We're getting better. Oh, I think I'm going in too tight. How's that? That's a bit better, isn't it? All right. How's that? Get that back.
Here we go.
Right.
And this is a little lifeguard hut, so called. And these are racing models. They're coming pre-made and pre-colored. They got some really spectacular large buildings, but I thought this is very unusual because doing a layout, train layout near the water doesn't happen every day, and I thought this is going to be pretty cool.
Well, it's not particularly big, but I mean, with that sort of color,
that's right.
That'll just pop in a layout.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, as we're talking about water, well, hopefully near one of these lifeguards is much nicer water, but I guess you can make any kind of water with that.
That's right.
With the kit.
Some beaches are nicer than others.
That's right. So, yeah,
Nice.
that's interesting.
Nice.
And as we talk about model trains, should you bring
Oh,
up your new favorite? It's actually another brand new release from
That's pretty spectacular.
Bachmann.
I don't even see it there. So you got it there.
So this is a very unusual train, actually.
So this is a double fairly.
This is a bit strange, isn't it?
So it's double-ended and it's been joined right at the back there. So I don't really know much about it. I don't know if it's two separate engines. I mean, you see the boiler, it goes all the way through.
That's right.
So you think that they've done this to make it have more torque than, say, a standard single engine.
Well, that's right. And I haven't read why they've done it that way. It could even be because they couldn't reverse it, so they didn't have like a loop to reverse it. So maybe that's the reason. But definitely interesting. My understanding is this is utilized till now for more of a scenic type rail.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's paired to this nice carriage, actually.
Yeah, so the carriages are really nice too. So they're quite
and
quite
it's a lot
large
bigger,
carriage.
actually. Yeah,
Yes.
so they look almost out of proportion, even though they are actually designed to go together.
Yeah.
So the color is obviously consistent, but yeah, the sizing is a bit interesting.
So these are narrow gauge, the 009. So you can see how narrow bogies are there. So they run on like an N scale track. And they actually run on a very tight
Radius.
layout.
Yeah.
Because we had a small circular one going the other day as we were filming a review on those. Yeah. So these have just come in. So there's two colors, right? There's this particular heritage green, and there's also a heritage brown as well.
That's right. Yeah. So this is a brand new release from Bachmann branch line.
Yeah. The great thing about this particular one is it's got DCCs and sound built in.
Correct.
And the sound repertoire is just unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And the inertia, so they have a built-in inertia as well, which you can control through your DCC system. You can remove it, I'm pretty sure. But the way it slows down and takes really a long time to actually come to stop, it's very dynamic and very realistic.
Yes.
And with that comes the noise, the sounds actually that produces that. It makes it look like a real model. And when it stops, obviously, even then, it stays at idle, and there is different sound.
So it's very, very nicely built.
That's it.
Very interesting layout. You want to build one of these?
I agree. So we'll have a full review of this one probably next week or so.
That's right.
So it should come up soon. And
That's nice.
Marlin will give us a lot more information about this specific unit.
So that's quite new. I wrote a few days ago.
That's right. In the meantime, we've got quite a few people joining us. So that's RC Car Brothers. Hi, guys.
Hello.
And thank you. Al is online, so thank you. Happy Friday to you. So for those who just joined us, we don't have a car today, but we have a truck. So the challenge is on.
Well, no one's come through yet, so it is a bit tough. Usually the cars, they get guessed pretty quickly, don't they?
Yes.
Because we've got a lot of car nuts out there. But with a trucks, this looks like a bit of a challenge.
Mind you, that we sell more trucks than cars, I would almost say, because when these trucks do come in, they don't last very, very long. So
I bet we do that.
I hope that we're going to get some guessing happening.
It shouldn't be too hard.
No. Well,
you never know.
Never know.
Never know.
All right. So still on trains. Shall we finish my favorite? That was my mistake.
I think you picked a good one.
I
like it.
I think it just had a good laugh. So what happened here, guys? When I've done the orders, I forgot EP8210. Or actually, this is a G gauge. So I've done.
So you've jumped a couple, haven't you?
I think I've jumped a few sizes here.
So normally we would get 00, which is the same
about-
size as that double fairy we had before.
We're probably about this long, really.
Yes.
And instead of
You got yourself a G scale, which is garden scale.
Yep.
Which, as you can see, it's pretty
It's
massive.
huge. It's pretty cool.
What's G scale? That's like 24 scale. Because the figures are like 24 scale.
That's a good question, actually. Yeah, it's huge.
Pretty chunky.
So I think we're going to have to open this one because, after all,
All right, let's have a look at Thomas.
I want to enjoy my Christmas gift.
Now, I really want to see his eyes moving, but I don't think we can get his eyes moving around any power. But that's one of the features of this particular train. He's got the googly moving eyes. And we're just going to chop it open.
Got a bit of a knife here.
Got a bit of a knife. It's not a real knife.
No,
No.
it's a safe knife. So
Yep.
I guess the Thomas range has been really popular, and Bachmann started manufacturing this again last year, from memory. And I didn't even know they were doing this big size. So now we do know. We have Thomas and Percy from memory, isn't it?
Thomas and Percy, that's right.
Get two mates.
Yes.
And so
Yep,
if
they
you
hang out together.
they can get out together, exactly.
So let's just slowly pull him out here. A nice tight fit. It's very bright, isn't he?
He is bright.
There's
Aha.
Thomas the tank.
Here we go. We don't need a zoom. That coupling is huge. I have to admit that personally, I haven't had any involvement with G-Scale. I've seen them at the train shows, and they do look impressive, but I haven't had any other involvement. So the coupling actually looks quite similar to an AHL one, but it's just gigantic.
See how the springs work?
Yeah, it's quite nice. So see top camera a little bit. Ooh.
Oh, let's zoom him
I've
out
had
because this is a bit of a big boy. All right, so let's do a bit of focusing. Here we go.
So the eyes, let me see if we can get to this. There you go. So the eyes are meant to be moving. So I think they'll be connected perhaps to the
I reckon it's
wheels.
going to be hard to turn the wheels because he's going to have so much
Torque.
Yeah, that's right.
So the wheels not moving.
But if you can just imagine, his eyes are going to be moving like this.
Yeah. And yeah, here's Thomas. And I have to say that Thomas has been ultra popular, not only for the kids, but there's all kind of modelers
Yes.
collecting all the different Thomas range of trains. So
Well, they add a lot of color to a layout.
correct.
Hmm.
And as you can see, it's a nice spring coupling system. If you're a train model, you recognize this one to be similar-ish to some of the HL scale couplings, and they've got an interesting spring system here.
A molded spring system.
Yeah, so it's a lot more simpler compared to a 00 HL scale locomotive.
But it's still designed to drive for long times
Yes.
around just a bigger layout.
That's right. Let me lock this user, so a bit of a spam. So yes, so that was my Christmas mistake.
Christmas
Which
mistake.
is not a mistake, really. It's something different, and perhaps we're going to learn that if quite a few people having a garden layout.
Or maybe because it's something that we've never really gone into
Ventured into,
before.
yeah.
But since it's a mistake,
That's
or a
right.
sort of mistake, we'll see what happens.
Thankfully, we also received a small version of Thomas because that would be disappointing having the full range and
That's
Thomas
right.
and Percy in gigantic scale.
That's right.
So we have the full range available. So very good. All right, let's park this guy away.
Pop him back in his box a bit later.
Yes, so we're parking here. Lots of trains today. So what are we going to talk? So there's no gassing on this truck.
Come on. What if I say this? It's an American truck. Is that going to help?
Is
Maybe.
it? Is it American?
I think it's American. I
Cool.
might be wrong.
Well, I'll turn it on this side. Let's see. Now,
What have we got? You going to bring out
Is that
Gigantor?
is that the big car? Big car time.
I think so. If you bring out big car, we're going to have to make a bit of room because
So-
it's probably going to keep the
Little truck is
little
going to
fella out of the
park,
way.
park on this side. All right.
So I guess this is what's this? This is a long-term review, is it? Because we've had this for a little while now, and quite a few of you out there would have seen this getting driven around in anger around the velodrome, and recently it's been knocking down trees, has it?
Yeah. So I think we need to lower the table. Oh, that's better.
It's like an operating table.
Yeah. So let's start from
Well, the obvious thing, it's really big.
It's huge. So this is the Traxxas X-Max. This is not a new car. This has been around for, I don't know, probably 5-6 years, I would say.
It's gotta
5
be
years.
there. Yeah.
6. And it's probably the top of the range of Traxxas. While this car is huge, you can't barely fit in a car when you go around on holiday. So this is not a car that you can take on holiday, because if you have luggages, this is not going to fit.
If you had a big car, you can fit this big car.
Yes, if you have to have a very big car, very few kids, and a wife doesn't take much luggage. Right. But to my surprise, when we first tried this car, it's actually really nimble. So it's huge, heavy, mega powerful, but really nimble and controllable at the same time.
Because it's got a lot of power, and it's done a lot of work to be able to make sure that the power's been harnessed so it's actually drivable.
It's like, it doesn't break, so that the drivetrain is able to cope with so much torque and I guess abuse in a sense.
Yes.
Because this car goes on 2 wheels, 3 wheels, 1 wheel, and it's crazy. So the drivetrain is phenomenal.
Yeah. When you talk about bashers, I mean, this is the ultimate basher. They've beefed up everything. And this is living testament, right? I mean, I can't say you're a gentle driver.
This is
because when Brett sees this, he's going to cry.
So Brett has been polishing this car for probably a week, and then he dropped it off to me when was it? Probably last Sunday, and by Monday was like this, unfortunately. But again,
this is what it's for.
This is what it's for, and this car is something we really want to try to break, actually, to understand how far it can go. And so far, every attempt has failed. Now, even the body is designed in a way that can stand so much crushing and abusing.
It's got an internal.
It's got an internal bracing.
Yep.
And the plastic they use is actually quite strong, so you can start seeing some of the holes here from scratching.
Yeah.
See if I can put it at the top.
Because you can imagine as this. Oh, this is even bigger, isn't it?
So there's holes here. This car, you can see all scratches here, has been driving his roof by when crashing, and you kind of slide it away.
Yep.
And the body's wearing, but it's not breaking.
Yep. I mean, that's really stiff with that brace in there.
Absolutely. So let's put the body away so you can see what's inside.
How heavy do you think the thing is?
Yeah, 7-8 kilos, I would say. It is. So this is full of dust now. So it runs with 2 big batteries. So this is 8S. So 2 14.8 volts battery.
It's really clever how the batteries come out. So
this is really tight. Yeah. And it's important that it's really tight, because with the crashes, you do tend to damage this battery. In fact, I've damaged this one just the other day. Yep.
Well, that's why you use hard case batteries.
That's correct. So
the battery on the inside is still okay. Just the casing has been cracked. Yeah.
So there's so much speed. So this car on last week, we did a huge jump at high speed, and I miscalculated the trajectory of the jump and ended up stopping onto a tree mid-air. So obviously there was quite a lot of torque, and the battery moved forward, and I guess it was squashed against here. But then again, it's part of it that this type of exercise, when you're bashing and you're driving it, this goes up to 80 km an hour as is.
Yeah.
Probably most likely driving it around the 60, 70 in the dirt, because lots of wheel spin.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just still in one piece.
Pretty decent. I got to drive this around on the velodrome. What was it? Year ago, last January.
Yeah, last year.
And I was surprised at how easily it was to drive at full speed.
Yes.
So it was going around the burns, and it was just squatting on one end.
Yeah.
But it didn't flip out at all. I mean, these amazingly big tires had really good grip.
Absolutely.
And then after that, we just drove on the infield, in the dirt, on the grass. Had no problems at all.
And it's actually quite possible to drive these on 2 wheels.
On 2 wheels?
Yeah. So if you give it a good squeeze when you start, you can actually balance this quite well on 2 wheels.
Oh, right.
Like this.
Got the big mono.
Yeah. So big Traxxas car. So what are we gonna? We're gonna have to do some maintenance. So I was planning to do a video on how to repair tires. So obviously I've done some damage on a wheel. So let's show this.
That's after I had to fight with the tree.
That was in between, probably, because then started doing flippy, and I couldn't understand where the problem was. But I have a big cut on this wheel.
Oh, let's focus on here.
Let's see.
That's it there.
There you go. So you can see there is a big cut on this wheel, and it does happen because these wheels are ballooning at that speed. They get really big, and then you can just catch a tree or a rock, and you just blast it off. And these tires are really expensive, actually. So One thing we've done before, if you small cut, you can put some super glue, some tire glue. It's
Yep.
a big chunky cut like this. What you do, you get an old tire,
Yep.
put it in as reinforcement,
Yep.
and then glue it
Go
over.
over the top.
We've
Yep.
repaired this tires quite a few times now. And my suggestion is to learn to do this because it will happen quite a bit.
Yep.
But this again is still the original car.
Yes, that's
There's
right.
nothing being upgraded to this one. We have the same servo, which servo is normally the weak point on this big truck, but yet we haven't managed to kill this one. So all 100% original. And this has done quite a lot of driving in all sorts of condition at the beach as well. So Brad took this down to the beach. I don't think he went into water, but this
It looked awesome, didn't it?
It did look awesome. So yes, so big Traxxas X-Max. Now Traxxas does also a smaller brother called the Traxxas Max, and I think that is probably my next try because that's virtually identical but a bit smaller.
Yep.
Which will make it a lot more transportable, probably faster again.
Yeah, it would
definitely
be.
is faster for speed, but even more nimble.
Yep.
And less dangerous.
Yep.
My real concern with this is that if you are in a park and a small dog comes running along, oh dear.
Well, there's a lot of momentum. I
Yes.
mean, there's a lot of dead weight here.
Yes.
So when you're traveling at 80 Ks, the impact from a heavy vehicle at 80 Ks compared to a smaller, lighter vehicle at 80 Ks is going to be significant.
Pretty damaging. It does stop really quick actually when you go on the brakes, but still it's quite heavy and quite scary really. So
But when you're driving it, when you got big open area and you drive it around, I mean, there's heaps of fun.
absolutely. And what else? That's it. That's the Traxxas X-Max. We thought to show. We don't get it into the shop too often because it's too big to transport realistically. But this has been coming in a train with me today.
It's amazing how flexible these arms are. So it's a mega, mega tough material. Because I've seen these do cartwheels and everything.
Yeah. So what happened often enough when you crash it, it just goes corner to corner, and that can cartwheel for I don't know 10 meters, 50 meters.
Yep. And
yeah, the arms, the suspension arms. Let's see if I can get on the camera. You can see here they are quite flexible. But so that's probably what enabled the car to be so strong because you don't really brake.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not too flexible that the car feels sloppy and.
Yeah, that's right. Because usually you want a stiff car to give you the performance.
That's right.
But this is still incredibly drivable, even with these really flexy arms.
Exactly.
So this sideways movement, I mean, that's pretty stiff.
Yeah.
But I guess as you're going around with extreme, like when you're doing the cartwheels, it actually flexes and bends back.
That's
it just
right.
springs back.
That's right. Absolutely.
Because the chassis itself is mega stiff.
Yeah, they've got this big shock tower. So let's see if you put it close here. They put this big kind of shock tower system, which is like a big bracing system that flows into the main chassis and then repeats on the back side of the car.
This
really,
part of it looks very much like a real car.
Yeah.
You know how they got their the wheel wells around here, and you got the suspension hanging off it. It has that sort of structural integrity.
And yeah, it's just really well engineered to be mega tough.
Yeah. And then you can see the material here for the bumpers. So this is designed to be spring action.
Correct.
So when you hit something hard, it just springs back. So
and
moving there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not broken. No, it's not. That's again surprising. Like the amount of
so much give
that you get. I mean, you can see the condition of this front bumper here. It's probably hard to see from the camera, but
it's got a few
few dents in there. So that's it. And that's the Traxxas X-Max. We may have a couple of in stock next week.
I heard about
already,
that.
but there's a bit of Traxxas delivery. So next week it's going to be really busy. Some Traxxas.
Yeah. Well, there's quite a few things that missed out on Christmas, so they're coming a bit later.
Correct. Yeah. And some Tamiya RC as well.
Yes.
So something really exciting.
That's right.
Yet don't know exactly what, but there's something really special.
So keep your eyes peeled.
So
if you subscribe to the newsletter, you'll be all set.
That's right.
Release it all in there.
Exactly.
If not, make sure you subscribe because that's where you're going to get the first news.
Yeah. If there is a specific Tamiya car that you like, if you put in your email address on the car on the product page, that will give you a notification as soon as it's installed. And most of the last few deliveries, they've been, they sold within a few hours as customer received notification on email and they just jumped on it. So yes. All right. So let's park this away.
Okay. All right.
So I think there is a guest in the truck there. Meanwhile,
Is it? What's the
Yes.
address? Where is it?
I think it says
It's a Kenworth. Okay, Kenworth is good because it is a Kenworth.
Let's go back up
All right, let's shift him back over here.
so we can see the
So
truck again.
maybe you can get a better idea of which Kenworth this is.
Meanwhile, welcome Anthony. So it's late, don't worry, but you can rewatch the first part on YouTube later on. But we talk about trains mostly until we start speaking about the X-Max. So,
Yes.
and today we have the truck to guess. So let's see if you guys can guess the truck. So
So we know it's a Kenworth.
Clifton suggests is a Kenworth.
Yep.
And now we need to know which model.
That's right. So which model, and if you can, it's going to be hard. If you can pick what branding's on it. So
I think
which
there's
company.
Some of our collectors of drag trucks, they will spot this from a kilometer.
That's right. They'll know immediately.
Because I know when they come into store, they see it from far and they point to that, say, "Is that such and such?" And
You don't know. You have to look carefully.
I wouldn't even be able to follow what they're talking about. So
Yep.
At the moment, as I said before, we had quite a few different ones really. So cool.
Okay.
So moving forward,
What are we going to look at?
we have some plastic kits.
Some
What do you
kits?
think?
Okay. So I've picked a few kits here. Some of them you've probably seen already, but I've done some open boxings on these, but I don't know if I actually showed them off. So these are the newest kits that have come in from Tamiya. So we've got the M18 Hellcat,
Yeah.
which is the tank destroyer that the Americans developed and came out at the end of the war. The idea they did with these is they use these for ambushing. So usually the Germans would have these parked away where they're out of danger, and they'll start firing off rounds. But what the Americans did was they designed a chassis. So it's an all-new chassis. It was really lightweight,
Right.
hardly any armor. So if it did get hit, then sorry about the guys inside. They didn't really see much to do about that. But they were able to outflank a lot of units on the German side, and they used the same sort of 76mm gun of the Sherman. So had a little bit of firepower to it. But the most important thing was it was really fast. So came late in the war. It was very, very effective, and it's actually a really unique looking vehicle. So I use quite a lot of this sort of angled armor, which helps with the ballistics. Okay, so apart from that, we've got the Suzuki.
This is super nice kit.
You probably know more about this particular Suzuki. So this one is the X-Star, which is from this is a
Xiaomi.
championship.
Yeah,
You know?
Xiaomi won I think it was probably the first time the Suzuki won the MotoGP.
Oh, was it?
I may be wrong, but
Yep.
Xiaomi won last 2020 season.
Yes.
So not 2021, 2020
Yeah.
season.
So this is 2021.
It was a bit of a, almost unexpected, I guess, Suzuki to be that competitive.
Hmm.
And Tamiya released the kit straight away, which is quite nice, actually.
That's right. So this particular kit is really, really nice. I mean, we've looked at 12 scale kits before in the motorbikes, and Tamiya have made the standard of how they should go together. There's vinyl tubing
That's right.
and all those sort of bits, screwed together cowling. And the great thing about this particular bike is it's got these interesting aerodynamics on the front. So
That's
the wing
right.
system on the front. So you see it on the front of the cowl. It's got this bent wing, which looks like an F1 front wing.
That's right.
And then they've also got this scoop at the back here, which directs air onto the tire. And then it has the interesting exhaust system. And then also the reverse dampers. So
That's right.
yeah, the forks.
In the last couple of years, probably 3 years or so, the MotoGP bikes have become a lot more evolved. There's a lot more aerodynamic going through there. I think Ducati started doing these fins on the side or the front.
All right, yep.
And now virtually, obviously everyone is following that. And as BJ's pointing, there's quite lots of aerodynamics. So these kits are going to be really cool to build.
Really
Can be
nice.
very complex, I would say.
They are
Very delicate
complex.
as well.
The great thing is every time I built a motorcycle kit,
Yeah.
it always feels like you're building an actual bike. Because
Yes.
you're building the engine, there's multiple pieces of the engine. And it's
Right.
big enough that you see all the fine bolts. You got the clutch that goes on and all that, and then it gets fitted into the framework.
Wow.
All your cowling goes over the top. Really nice. So it's a real experience to build it and then actually look at it as well. Because quite often you can display these with cowling outside,
Yeah, right.
and then you leave the cowling off the other
Open.
side so you can see all the engine detail.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you're interested in these two kits, I've actually got open box reviews on YouTube already.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Brilliant.
they're the Tamiya kits, and I thought I'd bring
Got something special up there, I can see.
this one.
Oh, that's very special. I think we pop that one there and just let our viewers to comment on that. Oh, you don't want to show that one, do you? Oh, you have.
Oh no, yes, no,
Oh,
no. All right.
All right,
Well,
leave
let's
it
just
there.
sit it there, right? for
Let's
the
leave it
moment.
there. In the meantime, I think we have someone guessing the truck, and Andy
Yeah.
is suggesting there's a K200.
Have you been doing your research?
Have you been Googling and going through the website for the last 36 minutes?
Very good.
Go
Very
on.
good, Andy.
So indeed is a Kenworth K200.
It is. But do we know which company it belongs to? What
Let's see.
livery is on
Let's
this
see.
particular truck?
Meanwhile, we have is it Milby? Milby from Texas. So welcome.
Hello.
Hello. So we have often have viewers from Canada,
Yes.
US, from all sorts of different parts of the world. So welcome in.
I thought this was pretty funky. I really don't know anything about this.
But that's
No,
cool.
It is. So this is a Ferrari Dino, which is used in one of these older Japanese animations. Don't even know the animation, but you can see how a lot of the it's got to do with the culture of the modifying of cars,
That's right.
and quite often you'll see the modification of Japanese cars.
Yeah.
But this one is modifying of a European car, because I mean the Ferraris and any Italian car and even British cars
Yeah.
are very well revered in Japan.
This is very cartoony type,
It is.
modification.
So this is from Fujimi.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's got a really interesting look to it. I mean, even if we quickly have a look here, let's look at the bodywork. Okay, so you get your kit there. All right, so you got the interior there. There's the bodywork. Okay, so
That's pretty standard, isn't it? That hasn't had much of a modification, isn't it? Looks quite.
that looks standard, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably going to be on the front end. There's going to be additional wings and such. And you see the apron.
spoiler here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you see the apron there, and you got the end cover.
Yeah. So that part is all modified.
You got a lot of clear parts because we got the big windscreen. And what have we got there?
Scoop. It's a huge scoop here. How would these go?
So that's underneath the chassis, isn't it?
Could be the front. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so
Some
that's just
some
something
venting.
really, really interesting.
The light
Oh yeah,
buckets.
and you got the
Double
light
light.
and reflectors.
Window wipers. So really well made little kit actually.
Quite a few bits of this.
That's right. And then you got your
Yep, so
Your
there's
chassis
some
down here.
chrome bits as well, and
parts.
there's your wheels.
Oh, that's quite nice actually. Yeah, aluminium flat. Aluminum.
Yeah. They're just one of those odd cars that we've got in stock at the moment. Always like to find some interesting things
That's right.
to offer budding builders. They never go back in the box the same way, do they?
That's it. I think you got it pretty
That's
well
close
now.
enough. All right. So there's
Absolutely.
that one there. And then I thought I'd bring a couple of, I don't know, I'm very much a science fiction type of guy. But you would have seen this before. So these particular Mechatro Wegos, I use one of these as a basis of one of my dioramas.
Yeah.
And Warwick did one as well. And this is one of the later ones with the Evangelion collaboration. So there's a little figurine. You can just see the figurine sort of on the
Let's
side
go
there.
on top. Here we go.
Okay, so let's do a bit of zoomage. Focus.
That's it.
Okay, so you can see the Mechatro Wego robot there. So it's designed to have someone sitting inside. So you might be able to see. Actually, it's not opened up there, but it comes with this little figurine, a small figurine of Asuka from Evangelion. Actually, I didn't show you it opened up, but actually the whole front of it opens up like this, flips open, and you can actually put the figurines there inside if you like.
Inside, yeah.
So this is from this Creator Works series that Hasegawa do. And this, I'm not too sure about the story, but somehow this Chubu factory comes into it. Now, it looks like they're a robot manufacturer. Whether it's real or not, I don't know. So from that, they've got this one as well. So this is the Chubu 1. And it's got an interesting look to it, doesn't it?
Right, let's put a top camera because I don't think from far anyone can see what's actually happening here.
Okay, so there's the Chubu 1. Okay, so you got one in the front here, and you've got the section on the front here, which is the control panel and the seat. And then same on the back there. Slightly different versions. Got the dude driving that one.
So it's almost like a tractor
Yeah,
attached to the front of this guy.
yeah, that's right. So you might get a
That's it, yeah.
yeah. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit more. How's that? See how to focus now? I've gone too far? I reckon I've gone too far.
I don't think we can
All
focus
right,
that far.
let's pull it back a bit. How's that?
Here we go. That's better.
All right, so you might have an idea just by showing you there. So I thought that was quite interesting. It's a little bit risque, but someone designed
That's it.
the vehicle, and there's no doubt, it's one way of looking at how a motorized vehicle should look.
So,
And I think if you built one of these, it's got the headlight on the top there as well on the
it's
head.
pretty interesting. It looks like they had a Spot from Boston Dynamics, like a bit of a hat. That's my favorite. And
That's
then
right.
I guess it's an old tractor.
Yeah, well, you got to be able to drive it somewhere. You got to sit
Absolutely.
somewhere, right?
Absolutely. Where else?
And then you got the big stable feet.
That's
So
it.
that's Tubu 1. So it's a lightweight Mechatrobot.
This looks like a big magnet.
Yeah. Well, you got to get some grip.
That's it.
So they're my picks. So I thought that was a bit funny.
Yes.
Quite interesting. So if you're looking for something that's unusual.
Unusual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
definitely unusual.
What else we have here? Well,
Oh, that's cool.
you brought this in, did you?
I did.
So this is old, but it's been remade.
That's right.
And it's an old Melbourne map. So that's how Melbourne looked in 1991. Remember?
So the Melbourne Map was first put together by a team of artists over quite a number of years. So what they did, let's see, zoom, focus, there we go. So you can see the amount of detail that's already in it, and you might be able to see, where are we? We're going to be here. We're right there. Okay, so there's the Yarra River across here. Swanston Street, you got the shrine, the war memorial there. You got the main strip of shopping here in the centre of Melbourne. So this is the central part of Melbourne, the CBD, and that's the main station here, Flinders Street Station. So we're just right here. That's where we're standing right now. Now this particular one took quite a number of years, and they actually drew this up from taking images from hot air balloons. Yep, and then of the street as well.
It's interesting because it goes all the way to so where are we? That's Docklands here, and that's the Flemington. Up here. That's Flemington Racecourse, I'm pretty sure. So it's actually quite big. It covers like
covers a large area, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because you're going to be able to just see Brunswick there. I can't really tell what's there. You got Richmond over this side, just around here, and then that's the MCG. Is it? Hang on. There's the MCG there.
And that's
the tennis centre.
Tennis, yeah.
Okay, so if you know about the Australian Open, that's where the Australian Open is being held in a couple of weeks' time. We've got Albert Park here. So that's where the F1 circuit is for the Melbourne GP. So as you can see, it's quite interesting that within this little map here, there's so many landmarks and world famous. Yeah,
that's
landmarks.
Right. Absolutely. There's even the Luna Park.
Yeah, St Kilda, yeah.
St Kilda Luna Park.
So over here you can see the pier from St Kilda. You got that little marina.
Yeah.
And actually, have you been there?
The penguins. The penguins
really turn up over there.
Yeah.
Yep. So a lot of places here. It's really good.
And so they have the 1991 version.
Yep.
They've got a more modern version that we currently sold out, but should come back in stock soon.
Yep.
So
this particular version, I think they were saying that they sold out in the 90s.
Right.
And now they've just been able to reproduce them because they found a local producer again to make it.
That's right. So, and they have a couple of new ones actually coming online very soon.
Oh, really?
They're notified. I don't know whether it's yet official, but there are a couple of new puzzles. I think there is perhaps an older map.
Yep.
And in a different region.
Oh, cool.
Around Victoria. Yep.
So the box on this one looks a bit smaller than the other one, but they're still roughly the same size. They're both 1,000-piece jigsaws.
I'm pretty sure that this is manufactured in Australia. So the modern one is made in New Zealand.
Yes.
But from the next production run, will be back made in Australia. So this I think is the first one that is the first. This is a manufactured in Australia. So all of those will be Melbourne maps made in Australia. So it's a nice gift. I guess for someone overseas, perhaps. So I'm traveling, but I guess for anyone, I suppose. And I think it's going to be a huge challenge to build one of those. I can imagine all these pieces in the middle, they're all going to look identical.
The grid of Melbourne.
Good thing is, if you ever lose a piece, you can contact the Melbourne Map directly, and they will be able to supply you with a part that you are missing.
Yep.
So it happens all the time that you spend 2 months trying to finish this puzzle, and the cat takes a piece
and hides it.
and hides it.
Or the dog takes a piece and
Yeah,
eats it.
it's
And it
a-
comes out and doesn't look the
And
same.
when you sell your house and move, then you'll find it. Typically.
Yes.
Very
Okay.
good. All right. So I
What's we
think
got?
we are mostly done for today.
Okay. We've got any more guesses on the car?
Well,
Oh, not the car, the truck.
Andy is carrying on, and he's guessing that could be plant hole.
You've been doing a lot of research.
I
haven't
think
you?
you've been. That's classic.
Excellent.
Good.
Excellent.
I think we
All right, we've got a
actually-
winner here.
we actually have a winner.
Okay.
So I think we're just trying to clean this up, and then
Yep.
we can have.
Give a bit of a wipe down. Let me give you a wipe
Yeah,
down.
let's get what sounds
It's got a bit of X-Max.
dust.
Yes,
I wonder who's done that mess in the X-Max.
Yeah, I wonder who did that.
So, and then we can have a good look at this big truck. All right.
All right, that's sort of clean a bit.
That's 10% better than before.
Yeah, excellent.
Well done. All right. So, top view.
Oh yeah, that's sort of
Yeah, I think it's
that's in
pretty
focus here. Yeah.
good. All right. So this is 1 in 50 scale,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
And it's a die-cast model.
Yep.
So it's effectively metal mostly.
Yes.
They're actually really well detailed.
I think the scale works really well because you can get trailers and such for them,
Yeah.
and we do have the B double ones.
That's right.
And by the time you put these together, they do get really big. So I guess a lot of people are expecting 18 scale, which is massive.
Massive.
By the time you put on trailers and things, it'll take up a whole bed. You wouldn't have anywhere to sleep.
True that.
Yeah.
I mean, just think if this one was double the size,
Yes.
you actually 18 scale is more than double.
Yeah.
Plus the trailer. The trailer in this scale is already probably 50 centimeter long.
Yes, easy.
And so it'll be like a meter long. So it'll be
Yeah.
unmanageable.
Yeah.
But as we see, there's so much detail, lots of photo edging for a start. So the Kenworth there is actually photo edge there.
Yep.
You can see there.
Yep.
Probably can't see on camera. But all the handles here,
Yeah. So all the handrails are really nice, aren't they? They're
Handrails,
actually
yeah.
protruding.
protruding, yes, exactly. So lots of details on the roof here. You got the horns.
Yep.
Different lights.
The chrome's a really nice finish too. So you can see all the mud flaps over the rear end. It's a very nice thin chrome. It's not really chunky and thick. Even around the fuel tanks.
Yeah. And then again, I think it's quite a bit of photo edging here. So this detail here is quite nice because there's quite a bit of depth here. So
Yeah, so that's a tread plate.
tread plate,
Yep.
and it's curved as well. So quite nice check plate here.
Yep.
What else? There's quite a bit of interior detail. It's probably not impossible to say, but
Yeah, small windows and such.
small windows. But you can see that even the roof, it's got that kind of creamy color.
Yeah, it's got all the quilting inside.
And and then obviously the instrumentation it's black, darker. So there's a bit of detail in there. And best part,
Flips forward so you can get to the engine.
yep. Look at this.
That's beautiful. I guess if you hold it on this angle here, let's see how far it flips forward. So very nice. So you get quite a bit of wiring on the inside there as well in the engine.
That's right.
And then you've also got all these lines here, which will connect up to your trailers when you have them on there. They're just in the park position at the moment. So they're all the brake lines, aren't
That's right. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can think this is a quick release for the trailer. So once you
Oh, it is
install your
too.
trailer, you have a quick release or a release mechanism.
Yep.
So they're so small and really well detailed.
The doors open as well, but they're
Do
a
they?
bit they're
Oh.
a bit tricky to open because you need the special tool because the panels have been designed so tight you can't actually get your fingers in there.
Uh-huh.
And then you get your rotating wheels, of course. And then you got some detail on the bottom as well,
That's right.
which is really clean.
So this is a Drake model. So Drake is a company based in Queensland. They actually are a transport company,
Yes.
and they went into doing models. And
Hmm.
now model making is one of a big division, I guess, for them.
Yes.
So they do
Yes.
a lot of models. I don't even know. They probably do potentially up to 20 or so every year with accessories and trailers and everything else.
A really nice Kenworth grille.
Yeah, very traditional.
Hmm.
And I guess they produce them with all the different transport names, the company that
Yeah,
do
that's right.
transportation. So this is Plant Hole. They've been
Because
some more commonly known as the Tnt Truck. It was tall. So they've done quite a few different ones. Here we go.
Is that on the money yet? That's on the
Yes,
money?
I think you're getting there.
Okay, so you can see how fine these decals are. I mean, that's my index finger just there. You can see how sharp all these details are. And even all this livery around the sides, they've actually got a pinstripe around them.
Yes.
And there's the rails we were talking about.
You can see the rivets as well.
So you see how the rails actually protruding from the bodywork, so they're not actually molded in. And then you can see the Kenworth there as well. That's something you probably wouldn't have seen before. See how detailed that is? It's quite amazing. And that's a mesh. That's an actual mesh there in the grill.
Yeah.
And you see a bit of photo etching there on the side. Get the lights. And you've got your number plate there too. This is where you can see that photo etched tread plate. And you see the finish on those tanks. It's the reflection coming off them are really nice and clean. And then you see those hoses. The hoses are quite nice too. You see how they're flexible, so you can actually mount those up to your trailer. And then you end up with, back here, you get your lights.
Ah, yes.
So you look at these for ages. I mean, there's plenty of look
so
at.
Much detail, yeah.
Yes. And you can actually see the rivets on the back of that the cab as well. There you go, plant hall. Really very nice.
This is it.
There you go.
Well done. So Andy's he's defining himself as a truck whisperer.
A truck, what? A whisperer?
Yeah.
Does he?
Yes.
What do you whisper to them?
Or Googleizer. One of the two. How is the 3D GP car coming along? We haven't had time in the last probably month or so to do any more building, but I'm pretty confident that next Thursday or so we'll
get back right into
get
it.
back to do our weekly video.
I recently got some new bits from Andy as well, because he constantly updates the car, and so we're up to the diff stage, and there's some other bits and pieces that he's given me as well. So probably in the next build I'll start putting those on, just so you can see. I mean, not just building a first production car, but it's going to be one of the developed versions as well. So eventually we'll get it to a point where we'll drive around. So recently Andy had some videos of him getting
really
driven around.
That was really cool.
And we'll get ours going as well. So looking forward to that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So what else do we have? I think we must cover for today. We have lots of stock arriving next week.
Yes.
It'll be really exciting. What I've just spotted here is one of our quads.
Oh.
We've got a few minutes. So I guess many people know what it is, but many other don't.
Looks like a cockroach.
It does. It's a transformer.
Oh.
It can open. And here you go. This was one of the first Mavic that DJI produced. I could say probably four years ago, even. I don't know.
I remember when these came out and I thought they were so small. Now I look at it, it looks pretty big.
So this is a few years old now, and it's still remarkable from a technological perspective, but it's really, a lot less than what you actually buy today. So the Mavic 3 or the Mavic Air is, I think it's probably a third or a quarter of the weight and the size with probably better specifications. But a unit like this can hover a meter off the ground with no input and just be there. It's unbelievable. So there we have GPS. I guess lots of these things here. Actually, I'll change the camera.
Well, it's very much a camera type drone, isn't it?
These are camera type drones.
So they're not designed to be enjoyable to fly. It's what you can get with the footage out of it.
So these are all sensor that it can sense where the ground is, so it can self-land. It's got big eyes here at the front, and this is actually to prevent crashing onto things. So it's got a bit of this was one of the first model I think they put with object avoidance. So what that means is when it's flying, if there is a tree or even a person, for a matter of fact, it will not fly into this. So the latest models have 360 degrees, I believe, sensors, and they, I guess, prevent kind of crashing onto objects of any kind, really.
I always thought these were pretty good, but I mean, obviously technology gets better.
Absolutely. So it's still interesting the way they can be folded up together. But I think the Mavic Air 2 is 250 grams.
Right. Okay.
With battery and everything.
Right.
And these things can handle some crazy winds.
You
know, even if it's windy, which is often is when you fly out there.
Yeah.
They can handle wind. They've got a GPS to keep them in position. So as the wind moves them, they kind of combat the wind and keep standing in the same position. So interesting unit.
Pretty good. And these give really good footage too.
This is actually a 4K camera.
Yep.
Which is like a really high-end, high-definition camera.
It's good. It's on a little tiny gimbal there, stabilized gimbal.
Yeah, and so when you're flying, you can actually control the camera and change the orientation slightly. So you can film in front of you, you can film on the bottom. And the skill required to fly these are, I guess, quite minimal. I guess today you need a license to fly these units.
Yes.
The regulation have changed, but the smaller unit, I think 150 grams from memory. I don't think you need a license for those. You probably need to register it. I think it's a requirement now to register those units to, I don't know, I think maybe, I don't know where you actually register them, but there is a registration process.
It's probably going to be on the CASA website or
something like that. Yeah. So, but I found it in the office before and I thought, well, that's interesting. And it's really fascinating the way they engineer this to actually, they've got longer legs at the front. So when they fold it, these are folding like this. These are folding on top. Just to be really
compact. Yep.
The propellers fits in.
It's really clever how they've done all that.
So your props fit in. So it's virtually a nice square packet.
Very clever.
So very good. All right then. What else do we have? Let's see.
Don't know. Does anyone want us to get anything?
Do we have any questions? Let's see if we guessed the track, which is good. See if anyone has any questions.
Yeah.
What else? I think we had a few other things around. Did we? No, we have the YZ4 up here.
Yeah.
That one is reserved for the Kilo Club.
Right.
So in a couple of weeks, we're going to have the Victorian State titles.
Right. And
I heard that there'll be one of these cars raffled.
Oh, raffled. How good's that?
So there'll be one of those and the team associated two-wheel drive kit will be raffled at the Victorian State title. So that will be a Kilo.
Yep.
On the 21st, 22nd of this month. So big weekend coming up for that.
Yep.
Not far now. Should be good.
Yep.
We'll be racing.
Oh, yeah.
Are you coming? I think I heard you. You may be coming to race.
Well, I'll come, but I don't know about a car. But I'll be there.
We will have.
I'll be there for sure.
All right. So BJ will be racing.
So maybe I could be like you for a couple of runs.
You can be me for a couple of runs.
I mean, it'll look pretty similar.
I'm pretty sure you can race the X-Max. I'm pretty sure you should be fine.
I don't know if I'd like having an X-Max going around the track after they rebuild.
So Andy's asking if you started to build the Fiat. BJ still need to paint his drag body shell before he can even touch the Fiat.
Is that one of the prerequisites?
Absolutely, it is. You need to practice your painting skills on a large body before.
What if I just cut it out?
No, that doesn't count. No,
oh, okay,
that doesn't count.
All right.
So, how many projects have you got going? I think last time was about 10.
Well, the thing is, I packed everything up because I moved, and it's still packed.
I thought you said you were going to unpack last night.
Well, that's what I said. I moved a few things, but I've got most of my things still in boxes, but they're easy access. So I just got to pull them out. Because we're planning on Velodrome, well, I guess we'll push it out to March. I've got a little bit of time there. But I'm running out of time because Model Expo is in the middle of the year as well. So I've got to get something finished for that. So it might just be a case of just pulling out all the projects again, put them all on the table and just working on them when I can.
That's it. So lots of stuff happening.
Yes, always busy.
Absolutely. So, all right then. So I think we're done for today. So we'll be back next Friday. And high chances next Friday there will be lots of stuff.
Lots on lots.
Lots of stuff being presented.
It'll be like Christmas.
I think so. 99% will be like Christmas. So join us again next Friday. We'll have new products, some Traxxas and Tamiya RC potentially, some plastic kits. There's a big plastic kit restock also incoming. So join us live next Friday. As always, this video is going out almost daily. I think we will have a couple of gaps coming out. But there will be video coming up daily and also social media. So
yeah, that's right. Yep.
Quite a few
and that's right. And because of our 75th anniversary, look out for more history coming through as well.
That's right. That's right. So
75 years, there's a lot of history there. So
and if you have any history of Hearns,
yeah,
from yourself, could be your grandparents perhaps, or you
Yes.
when you were young, just feel free to reach out and share it, and I'm sure we can reshare across.
yeah, for sure. Now, it could be old original product. It could be experiences like stories. It could be memories of particular staff members here. It could be anything.
Anything. So feel free to reach out on email or Facebook or wherever is convenient, and then let us know what the story is or was, and we can put into our archive and keep building this history book of
That's
the
right.
Hearns family.
Yeah, and keep the legacy going.
Absolutely. Very good, everyone. Have a good weekend, and see you next Friday.
That's right.
Thank you for
See
joining
you
us.
later.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.